Last week, I said my piece on the Completionist. I got everybody up to date, at least on my channel. There's been multiple videos about this. This is one of the hottest topics, trying to tear down somebody online. I've said that I've had personal interactions with Jirard. Nothing but a great guy. I hold no ill will against him. It's been a minute since I've checked out his content, and every time that he's ever popped up in the news, everybody always has the same opinion. Nice guy. Nothing bad to say about him at all. But at the beginning of November, when Mudahar and Karl Jobst decided that, yeah, you know what? We're just it's getting really slow towards the end of the year. We need somebody's life to go ahead and destroy. We heard this thing about a charity with the Completionist. Let's go for it. Now, as I said before in my previous video, which so many people were just not very nice to me, I could give a shit what the response was. I stand by the statements that I made on that one. If he did anything unbecoming, if it ended up coming out that he was embezzling money, stealing money, then of course allow the authorities to take actions that they deem necessary. Levy the charges that are appropriate for the situation. But what have we found out so far? He raised $600,000 for charity. It was sitting in a bank account. It has since been distributed. Okay. Now Jirard, the Completionist, that one video gamer as a brand, has completely and totally nosedived. You can't go but 3 feet in a digital sense across YouTube without hitting a video talking about the subject. How, oh, the Completionist totally destroyed his brand. I thought I had a pretty measured response to that, but in this case, just because there is no more kill stream for anybody to go to engage in their blood sports that they so desperately desire, all of this drama farming shit has just popped up everywhere. You see these downfall of certain creators. Oh, this is how this guy fell off. Oh, his interactions are down 90%. Here's what happened. You see these videos from these, oh, quite frankly, unoriginal vindictive hacks, drama farmers, if you will, securing an easy bag by being professional meddlers. Because they're not doing this. They're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. There's multiple posts from Karl specifically, Karl Jobst, saying, I'm not doing this for the good of anybody. I'm doing this to secure the bag. Which, okay, if you're going to do that, just understand, you better fucking have a squeaky clean reputation, because the moment that you fuck up, there is going to be countless people around you with knives just waiting for your moment of weakness. That's the trepidatious game that you play. And there's a reason that I'm coming back to this story after I said what I said on that one, thinking that, you know what, as long as the Completionist just grabs his nuts, says go fuck yourself, and never talks about it again, there wouldn't be much of a story to this. He could just go ahead and put time between himself and what he does into the future. We just move on with things. And then Karl decided to leak to his Discord, which is a big red flag for me, a snippet of a conversation between all three gentlemen at the center of this controversy. Now, don't know the context of this, don't know when it took place. Hearing it beforehand, listening to the minute 38 multiple times over, I understand that there was definitely a lead up to this specific snippet, and given its distribution method, I also know that somebody was probably curating the message as best to push their own narrative possible. But that's exactly what's going on in this entire situation. You have somebody that cannot handle the pressure, who is, if you've watched the come up of the Completionist, like I said, I fell off a long time ago, but I'm an OG fan from back in the cut, back when he was getting featured on Screw Attack. I went to his panels. 2 of them, 2013 and 2014, the first 2 that he ever put on at SGC down in Dallas. I've met with the guy. I've got nothing but good things to say about the guy. And then I told you that, I just kind of unsubscribed a few years back. And then also listening through this excerpt of a Discord call, it harkens back to how legendarily bad Jirard is with, keeping up with a weight loss journey that starts and stops and starts and stops and just never gets started ever again. How he'll start projects and fall off projects and then start back up again with this big old reboot. He's rather inconsistent when it comes to other things. Hell, it was like, the 3rd or 4th attempt at starting a channel when he came up with the Completionist idea, because he just is flighty with his ideas. Nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. It just shows the temperament of the individual, and of course, when pressed with a very contentious stimuli, well, something else that we've noticed throughout the years, and something that if you've been a fan, watcher, supporter at any point in time in the past, you're also going to notice he's going to be quick to emote because, well, he had a very contentious childhood. something that's also going to come up in this little snippet right here. But what's coming out of this very, very, very purposefully snipped clip is that Jirard, I don't know how he got to this point in this conversation. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. Like I've said multiple times over, if he did something untowards, if he stole people's money, if he willingly and knowingly misappropriated funds, legal recourse is what we do on this. This is just male Me Too. Is it just somebody going, gee, isn't that funny? Oh, making unfalsifiable, unverifiable claims that already immediately associate somebody to a heinous act. You can't go anywhere. Like I said before, you can't go anywhere on YouTube. You can't go anywhere on Twitter without running into this topic right here and immediately having Jirard's name affixed with thief, scammer, con artist, grifter, but that's anybody online getting criticism from a 70 IQ individual that's out there, okay? Like that shit's just eventually gonna pop up. But what has been proven so far? Some failed golf tournaments, some charity streams when money was collected and it sat in an account. Okay, a little fucked up, but this full court press attack, getting him into this struggle session call when you can obviously hear he's on the verge of crying, and it's one of those things where it's just one of the immediate defense mechanisms where, okay, don't press me any further, I'm just going to cry and, like emotionally break down. But I understand where he's coming from. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt until you start to read some of the descriptions of the clip. I've laid out everything as best as I can, recapping where we have been up to this point with all parties involved, but Jirard has to know. I'm sure it probably wasn't explicitly told to him that they're going to be recording this, but you kind of know the nature of the people that you're dealing with. You'd have to think that this is going to be recorded. You would have to believe that this is going to be made public, even if it's been clipped out, even if it's been taken out of context in some form or fashion. So mind your P's and Q's, or just tell the truth. How about that one? And what's coming out of this one? Well, we got some falsehoods. And people are running with this. Obviously, it's right up there at the top. If you've done some preemptive reading, you'll see, did Jirard allude to paying Muda and Karl off? Yeah, I got a problem with that, because that's not what he said in this clip right here. He is grasping at straws. He is a desperate man. He is asking, for the love of God, stop with this full court press. What the fuck do I have to do for you guys to leave me alone? I've done everything that you've asked of me. This is somebody who is under the thumb of people who, frankly, don't give a fuck about him, are using this for clicks, attention, clout, whatever. A bag. I'm sure every piece of content that they do is fully monetized all the way to the hilt in hell. They even get released in a simultaneous fashion where if you want more of the story, go over to Mudahar's channel. If you want more of the story, go over to Karl's channel. Hell, let's do a podcast on the subject and collect super chats. I don't like to throw around the term grifter often when they're open and honest about being grifters. Well, you just gotta call a spade a spade. No. You'll hear it because we're going to play it. I'm just setting up the preamble and all that stuff. But did Jirard allude to paying Muda and Karl off? So yes, on top of scammer, thief, liar, what have you. Now you can have somebody refer to Jirard trying to engage in bribery, even though that's obviously not the case. Kind of like all of those previous accusations haven't been proved. They've sure as fuck been alleged. New audio recording of the completionist begging Karl, Jobst, and Muda not to bring this to light. No, he's asking. It's like, can you guys just fucking stop? Can you stop? Anyways, he then this is the point where I have a big problem with this stuff, and where I'd probably slightly not so much turn on Jirard, because the evidence is still bare. It's just me not really having, just losing some respect for him. Actually, quite a bit, because it also unlocked a memory when I heard it. He knew he was going to get cancelled, citing attachments to controversies like JonTron and Pro Jirard. Other people, like these, if you're just a normie that's out there and you have no idea who these people are, those used to be associates of Jirard. Hell, Jirard and Jirard, they did many collaborations before. Hell, JonTron was even the person that initially put Jirard on. They had a falling out even before the Completionist channel started. And again, if I can find that 2013 panel that's out there, I actually elaborated that entire story, and it impressed Jirard, and it allowed me to continue on in the game show. They've deleted every old Greg video attached to the Completionist, and everybody backed up everything except for the one fucking panel. But yeah, I know a lot of this lore, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. Pro Jirard, oh god, when was that fall off? That was, at least a few years ago, within the past 5 years. Him and his ex-wife ended up, well, obviously, I think you know where we're going with that one. They were heading for divorce. She was making a bunch of lascivious accusations involving minors and him trying to take advantage of his audience. Jirard came out and was like, nope, that didn't happen at all. And then he just carried on with his merry way. I enjoyed his presence when he was on Screw Attack. Heard a couple of things recently about him just being a scummy individual behind the scenes. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment of his contributions to Screw Attack, and then in the early stages of his own channel, thought he was doing an exceptional job. Ended up falling off, probably around the same time with the Completionist. But the JonTron stuff, that one's very interesting, okay? Because all three of those guys were going to be a part of the newly rebooted, newly revamped. If you go back and watch some of the old JonTron videos, you will notice a logo right there up at the front, right at the start of the videos. Normal Boots. What the hell is Normal Boots? Well, it was a collective of online video game related personalities that would get together as sort of a proto-MCM, or rather MCN, multi-channel network on YouTube, back when it was much more difficult to get advertisers and sponsors and to get any kind of monetization. So everybody with a rather collective audience, you'd get together and do a couple of group videos every once in a while. You know, you would just have your collaborators that you could bounce off of for your own videos. And it was a little collective, online collective. JonTron was one of the original founding members, Peanut Butter Gamer. There were a couple of other kids that were in there as well, but when they ended up rebooting in 2016, 2015, 2016, like this is ancient stuff at this point in time, especially in internet years. Yeah, it was the entire band getting back together. JonTron was fresh off of his stint with Game Grumps. Yeah, they were going to go ahead and start this stuff going right back up. And then JonTron, well, he started to get a little bit more political. And the rest of the guys that were on there, didn't quite like them. So they decided to excise JonTron at the time when he needed a friend the most. Because he, unfortunately, was associated with some bad people. Like what we're seeing in this situation is, it's funny that Jirard couldn't possibly have learned from that situation. John hopped on a stream with Stupid Destiny. Funny how many destroyed lives are all a part of this situation, but who's ending up standing as the shining beacon on the hill? Be good old John Jafari, after all. No, he was out there quoting crime statistics in Destiny in his trademark hyperbolic reaction style. Wouldn't give anybody a charitable interpretation and then just completely and totally threw him under the bus. I despise Destiny and I've despised them for a long time. He's worse than anybody else that we're going to be talking about here very shortly. But JonTron was canceled. And then, as a founding member of Normal Boots, thinking that he would get a helping hand from his brothers in arms, just decided to go, nope, fuck off. And then they excised him from the community that he helped start. And that's when I just decided to get rid of my subscription to Pro Jirard, get rid of my subscription to Super Beard Brothers, Completionist, and just go ahead and walk back all of my previous association with video game content creators online, figuring out, okay, cool, you line up on the side that's going to go ahead and cancel you at a moment's notice. Thanks for at least giving us the heads up, and that's where we find ourselves right now. You want to lay with pigs, get ready to get dirty. Because here you are in a conversation that you at least know, speaking from Jirard's perspective, are from two adversarial parties. So you know that they're not going to give you an inch at all and be charitable with their interpretations. So in order to try to curry favor, you try to throw other people under the bus, knowing you'd have to know at least, maybe even in retrospect, in the back of your mind, that they're going to go ahead and try to use your words against you at any moment in time. First and foremost, bad idea taking this call. Bad idea being outnumbered. Bad idea not recording it yourself. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it in the next couple of days that Jirard has his own copy and it's like, no, actually, here's the full context, but hasn't been doing great in defending himself. You can just say that. But how does this keep getting worse? Well, people continue to take the Mudahar and Karl Jobst approach, where they will just go ahead and take the least charitable interpretation of what Jirard has done and run with that stuff. He's a thief, he's a scammer, now he's a con artist and a briber. Oh my god, is there any lows that this guy won't stick to or stoop to? I would go ahead and it's like, yeah, no, okay. I don't agree with any of that stuff. But then when he tries to play the I know how to do this because I used to be around canceled people, and then continue to try to throw distraction mud on his previous associates, previous friends, that's where I can't get on side with Jirard on this one. That's absolutely not. Okay, loyalty is very, 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 very high. It could very well end up being my highest principle. If I work with you, if I associate with you, just talking in person or in a professional sense, I'm not going to shit talk you. We end on amicable terms, even if they're a little bit contentious. I don't shit talk any of my ex-girlfriends, any of my, previous associations. I don't do that stuff because I have standards for myself. I take that very seriously. Loyalty in today's day and age is something that you don't see very often. And this is partly a reason why, okay, if anybody would come out and go, the evidence behind the whole charity stuff doesn't really line up, so, wait and see if we can get any more development on this. Those people that would go ahead and give you a faithful, honest, charitable, maybe even loyal description of events, you're going to end up turning off by flipping on under other individuals. So without further ado, here's the 1 minute 38 seconds that probably ends up ultimately doing Jirard in. Sucks, man. Really does. But this is why leftism, never once, never ever once. Starts with, a little silence.
The last thing I want to do is ruin the legacy of my family, of my mom and her memory, especially because this is such a personal thing for the last 25 years of my life.
So as you can hear, he's like obviously shook up. So I'm thinking there's no additional context, at least anything that I could find. Maybe that additional context is out there somewhere in the ether. Don't know when this was recorded, but this was obviously after everything first got out. Don't know how far along this is. I would imagine it was probably before his official statement on his channel, his 30-minute long video. But yeah, it also brings up something that I was talking about in the previous video as well. It's like this is a very important subject for him, the charity that he started. I don't know how much information he had on what was going on with the finances. He's made allusions that, became aware of it a few years ago and they were supposed to handle it, but they didn't. And I was the front guy, didn't really know too much about the day-to-day organization. And now, well, he's the face and now he has to wear it. But also, just getting this attack right out of the blue, he also understands that he employs a fair few number of people. So yeah, an attack like this and the backlash that it's caused, that's going to be detrimental, not just to him as a person, as a brand. No. That's going to affect everybody else that's out there. So yeah, he's scared. He's big scared.
I'm not trying to be like, do you guys want money to help me hide this? It's not what this is at all.
Okay, yeah, see, that's what everybody's just going to go ahead and cut it right there. Oh, see, he's trying to pay everybody off. But no, listen to the rest of it.
I'm just asking from a humanity perspective of, like, if I am the target of this, I have 20 mouths to feed. I have sponsors. I have a business. I'm trying to make video games. I'm trying to get out of content creation so I don't have to worry about YouTube anymore. And
yeah, see, okay, I won't pick too much on his articulation, obviously, because there's other problems that are right there. Obviously, letting your emotions get to the best of you, knowing that you're heading into the lion's den with two hungry animals. Not having all of your, ducks in a row, if you will. Just saying, no, I got what I needed out of content creation. I'm just trying to go into something else. Okay, I am done with that life. I'm trying to move on to something else. I'm so much more important than that. Some people are reading that into it. I don't necessarily think that that's fair. This is somebody who's not of his full faculties at the moment. Not excusing it, just explaining it.
Do better things in the world. And I just know, because of my track record of things like G4 exploding, me being friends with JonTron when he was a racist.
Why would you say that? Why the fuck would you say that? Okay, because I gave you leeway when it came to the G4 stuff. Okay, you were there on the set, caught up in the moment. It's broadcast TV. It's going out. It's just streaming to thousands of people. Frosk wants to go on her stupid rant, and you're just kind of caught there like a deer in the headlights going, fuck it, we'll just roll with it. Yeah, you go, Frost. Woo! Okay. And not really following up on that, in the aftermath of just trying to play it straight going forward. But to say, previous associations with JonTron when he was a race, why do you have to reopen that well-sealed wound? Something that has been closed for a long time. It still haunts JonTron, to this day, like, that dude was canceled for no fucking reason, just because he was reading some crime statistics, some FBI crime statistics, okay? A little, kind of like Jirard, inarticulately, to a professional political streamer who's not going to give you an inch at all in Destiny. Oh, now he can't even give his wife an inch. That's the community's wife, after all. But no, that just harkens back to you when you were at your original scumminess by disassociating JonTron because he said some things on a live stream that were unbecoming of a content creator back when that used to be a laudable profession for you, back before you could aspire to better things and help make the world a better place by making video games. Like, whatever, bro. Okay.
You know, I've been a part of, like, you know, Pro Jared, like...
You weren't really a part of that. Again, that was just somebody else that you guys excised from normal boots that just ended up kind of falling in on itself, like any good leftist cause.
Pulling one thread about the charity thing is going to upheave my entire life in a way that scares the living crap out of me. And I don't want...
No, he's in a tough spot right now, obviously. That's what's obviously being illustrated if you can read anything into vocal intonation. He's desperate. He's scared. But the only thing that anybody's going to take away from this, obviously, allude to paying them off. Oh, he's just trying to make this go away. No, he's just trying to figure out, why me? Why me? What do you want? How do I make this go away? Because we're just picking this up mid-conversation.
Go home tonight and tell everyone, hey, there is a gigantic thing coming to claim my career, and you all have to close down and find somewhere else to do. I know this is shitty me to say this. I'm not trying to ask for sympathy or anything, but this...
Well, it's kind of what you're doing. But again, he's not terribly articulate because he's not handling stress well.
Kind of stuff. I mean, I've been following your guys' stuff for years. The stuff with Billy Mitchell, Karl, the stuff that you've done Muto with.
Yeah, it was fucking scummy shit anyways. But I'm playing this card on top of, also trying to throw John, who's probably not the closest with and has had, an on and off relationship, not like that, throughout the years. Okay, no, I've liked that stuff that you've done against, like, actually guilty people, okay? People that actually deserve this, but I don't deserve this. Maybe you could take a step back and realize that, if I don't deserve this, maybe what he does for a living is, no, I'm just the most recent victim. But this is also, man, this is another one of those things where everything's happening to me. What I have to deal with this stuff. It's an external locus of control, just giving up your own personal agency to the whims of other individuals. That's the problem that's going on right here. Hey, he's not taking any control of what he's doing outside of that lawyer-prepared speech that he had on his channel, where he was also on this emotional roller coaster. Should have had a couple more takes on that one, but anyways, we'll continue.
With tons of content creators over the years, like, there's no nuance to this. People are going to see this, and they're going to immediately go, that Jirard guy who's been nice to a bunch of people actually isn't very nice overall. Fuck him. Let's get rid of him. And
then it was cut off there. Very interesting that they would release. Oh, I'm sorry, it was leaked on the Discord. No, it was totally not AI. Some people were thinking it's like, that could be AI. I don't know about that. No. I'll go ahead and take it at face value. It definitely seemed like something that could end up happening, but this is a context of a much larger conversation because Karl and Mutahar didn't say a fucking thing. That's, again, another big red flag. How it was distributed, what was distributed, and who was speaking on the recording. I don't like it. Now, I don't like anybody in this story at all. The majority of this call really highlights how scared Jirard seems to be, and again, it's really sad to listen to. Kind of by purpose, kind of by design, wanting to get some sympathy, but then at the same time, you can also stand where he's coming from, where I simply, can we just make this stop? Can you guys call off the attack? You said you would before, but we have no context as to when this call actually took place, despite his entire focus be on the optics. Yeah. I would also wonder if it was, just him specifically, if it was only Jirard Khalil being at the ire of this storm, not having anybody else rely on him, his company, his brand in order to make a living. I wonder if he would handle it differently. But yeah, like his entire brand is about being the squeaky clean individual, because funny enough, when he's not on camera, I don't know what he's like on live streams, but I know what he's like in person. And the squeaky clean image, the guy who just has the funny little video game bleeps whenever he drops in, you know, a well-timed shit or fuck in his video, off camera, he's a little bit more spicy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's another one of those things, man. It's a reason why, unless I'm trying out something new, every once in a while I'll try to make a video where it's like, I just don't want to swear, because, you know, like the previous video, I was getting fairly sailor-mouthed. But whenever I want to talk, whenever I want to discuss a topic, I'm going to say whatever the fuck comes to mind, whatever's going to be the funniest in the moment, whatever is going to end up really driving the point home, that's the word that gets said. So yes, it is a bit of a veneer of a falsehood, and it does lend credence to the fact that Jirard is simply all brand, no substance. It's just, if you're trying to make an accusation of that caliber, you gotta come correct. And like I said, I haven't seen anything of that. They're just trying to, and I think this is ultimately what their scheme could be by dragging this on for as long as possible. They're just trying to give Jirard enough rope to hang himself. God, I hope it doesn't end up that way, though. I'm surprised that Karl or Muda, not sure who, waited to release this part of the conversation, but here we are. Yeah, that's what people aren't giving him the benefit of the doubt. And that also, yeah, clears up. I'm hearing this being AI generated. Now, Karl posted it in his Discord. Yeah, not publicly, not a part of a video or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe it's a teaser to another video or something like that. But it really accomplished its intended goal by trying to make Jirard, oh, now he's trying to engage in bribery, huh? What a scummy individual. Oh, he's trying to throw his other friends under the bus. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably what he wanted from this clip. But when it's all said and done, unless this is a big old fucking kayfabe work, the likes of which WWE could only envision of running in their wildest fantasies, they haven't been able to do anything creative like that in nigh on fucking 3 decades. But Jirard said those words. He said those words unprompted. He said them in the context that were provided right there. Don't necessarily know if there was a preceding conversation where they were all just, you know, shit-talking Jirard or Jared or the G4 situation that would immediately make those front-of-mind situations. There's a lot of missing context, but the context that we have right there, it's not good. It's really not good. The fact that we continue to play the semantics, the optics game, lets me know that we're more than likely not close to the conclusion of this story, because I'm sure that there's probably a lot more farming in those lolcow hills for 2 seasoned veterans of the internet farms. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.